Erin, and since we focused on strength in almost all of the videos that I've made so far, we are going to do something a little bit different today. And as you probably already know by the title of the video, we're going to work on mobility and flexibility, especially in the hips. Now, I know that it's tempting to just do workouts that we feel like are going to help us lose fat or build muscle or just lose weight overall. However, as we do those things, it's so important that we also make sure that we maintain or increase, if necessary, our mobility and our flexibility. When we only strengthen, our muscles get shorter and tighter, and over time that can lead to misalignments in our structural system, which can lead to all sorts of issues, including our organs not quite being in the right place, which can lead them to not function 100%. It can lead to cognitive issues if we have misalignments in our spine, especially in our neck, and all sorts of other health concerns that we can easily prevent just by making sure that we keep moving and stay mobile. So today we're going to focus mainly on our hips. Sorry, that's my Instant Pot going off with my dinner in it. We're going to mainly focus on our hips, and we're going to start standing. All you need for our class or our video today is just a mat. If you're on carpet, that's probably fine too, as long as it's got a little bit of cushion. Yeah, and we'll go ahead and get started. So we'll start standing. Your feet a comfortable distance apart, maybe a little bit wider than your hips, and turned out just slightly. You can have your hands on your hips. We're going to be standing on one foot at a time here, so if your balance is a little bit wobbly, feel free to go to a wall and place one hand on the wall, or for just a little bit of extra help, you can glue your eyes to one little spot, either on the floor several feet in front of you or on the wall in front of you. You want to keep your abdominal muscles engaged. And what you're going to do to start is, with an inhale, take one knee, bring it across your body. So you're going to bring it inward, up, out, and down. Just like that, nice and slow. Inhale, exhale. Good. We're going to do 5 on each side, so that's 2 right here. 3. And you really don't have to spend much time on this. 5 minutes a day can really go a long way if you're comparing that to doing nothing at all. Okay, let's do 1 more on each side. Now we're going to do just a little bit of a joint warm-up. And this is something that you can do before you do strength training as well, before you load your movements with weight. So we'll start by lifting one foot off the floor. Just make ankle circles in one direction. We'll do 5 in each direction. Again, if you're a little wobbly, you can put one hand on the wall or a chair next to you. Okay. Now, you'll have your feet a little bit narrower, hip width are a little closer. You're going to bring your hands to your knees and make some circles with your knees. Knees stay together, they're both going in the same direction. Now go in the opposite direction. Again, we're just starting to move our joints here, not necessarily trying to feel a stretch or a workout. Now you can come back up, hands on your hips now, and I want you to imagine that your tailbone, the very end of your spine, is a pencil or a pen, and you want to draw a circle on the floor. You can even imagine that there's a piece of paper underneath your tailbone. So you'll start with your pelvis and your tailbone in a neutral position, and you're going to draw a circle. You're going to go again on all of these 5 rotations in one direction and then 5 in the other. Doesn't matter how good this looks. You don't have to look like a belly dancer or a hula hooper, or what do they call the Hawaiian girls? Is it a hula girl? Or did I confuse it with hula hoop? I don't know. Anyway, I think it's hula. I don't know. So now we're going to do the same thing with our spine, and you're going to imagine that there is a hula hoop around your waist, and you want to take your torso and touch all the inside of that ring. So if this is the ring around your waist, you want to go around the whole inside of that ring. So again, you'll have your hands on your hips and you'll round, just moving from the center of your spine. Now go in the opposite direction. You don't have to have your hands on your hips for this one. You can have them down by your side, whatever feels more comfortable or better. One more like that. All right, now we'll just do a few shoulder circles, shoulder rolls, whatever you call them. And this one will just go in one direction. And now elbows. 4, 5, and opposite direction. And now your wrists. 5 in this direction, and 5 in the other. Now what we're going to do for our neck, you're going to let your chin drop to your chest, and then from here, roll your right ear to your right shoulder. Try to keep your shoulders down away from your ears, and then exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. So you're just making a semicircle from your shoulder to your chest to the opposite shoulder. Let's do one more to each side. All right, chin to chest again, and then inhale all the way up. Inhale, reach your arms up, stretch up as tall as you can, and then exhale all the way back down. Take another shoulder roll if you want. Now go ahead and come down to seated. From here, you're gonna have your feet on the floor in front of you. If you're on a yoga mat, you can go a little bit wider than the mat. Obviously, if you're sitting in this direction. And you're gonna have your hands on the floor behind you. It's okay to lean back a little bit, but you don't want your chest to round in. You wanna keep your chest lifted. With your feet a little bit wider than your mat or your hips, you're just gonna rock your knees from side to side. And they don't have to go to a particular place. It just depends on your flexibility, your mobility, as well as your joint mechanics, just the way that your joints are formed. Everyone's joints are formed differently, where you will end. So some people may be able to bring the inside of their knee all the way down to the mat. Others may not. It doesn't matter. Wherever yours falls when you just let it go is fine. Let's do one more to each side. Okay. Now you can keep doing that. If you would like to go a little bit further, what we're going to do, let me scoot back a little bit, is let your knees drop to one side, and then you can bring your back hand forward and press up onto your knees, sort of like the position you'd be in for pigeon pose. And then you can bring your hands back to the mat, hips back, back arm comes back, and then you switch to the other side. Back hand comes forward and lift up. So you can keep using your hands like that if you want, or you can use your hands as little as you want. You could just use the back hand, or you can keep your hands lifted and just use your legs. Just depends on what feels best for you, how you're feeling today, where your flexibility and mobility are. Good. Let's do a couple more to each side. Inhale here, exhale down, inhale up, exhale over, and inhale back up. Or if you're moving a little faster, you could just inhale up, and then exhale down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale Exhale. Good. Last one to each side. I know that was more than I originally said. I just love this movement though. It feels so nice. Okay. Now from here, you're gonna let both knees drop to one side again. From here, you're gonna take so let's say, let your knees drop over to the right. Take your left foot and bring it in close to your left hip. You're looking for a stretch in the front of your left quadricep. If you don't feel that stretch yet, you can walk your left knee out a little bit, and then you're gonna tuck your tailbone under and press your left hip up and over to the right while keeping your shoulders squared forward. The closer this foot comes into your hip, the deeper your stretch will be. I need to scoot forward a little bit to get my foot on the mat. Deep breath. It's so important that we keep our joints healthy and keep or maintain our mobility, especially as we age, because one little misalignment, like in your ankle, can cause issues in your knees, your hips, your spine, your neck, your shoulders, and all the way up. It's just like building a house on a faulty foundation can cause all sorts of other issues that you wouldn't even think would be related. So now we're going to come up to center, over to the opposite side. This time you're going to bring your right foot in towards your hip, scoot your right knee out a little bit if you need to, and then tuck your tailbone, press your right hip up and over to the left. Take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes if you'd like. Last breath here, big inhale, full exhale. Now you can come back to center. We're going to drop our knees to the opposite side one more time. This time, you're going to sit all the way up. If this is really uncomfortable for you, then you can take a pillow, or if you have a yoga block, you can put it under your hips. You can also fold up a blanket. Just elevate your hips a few inches, and that should help. So even though your hips might feel a little bit uneven, this hip is lifted a little bit higher than the other, try to sit up as tall as you can. You can rest your arms where they're comfortable. You can also have your hands on the floor behind you for extra support, but make sure you don't lean back. You want to keep your shoulders directly over your hips. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. Try to let a little weight drop down into your left hip as you sit up tall. Now we'll come back to center. Knees drop to the opposite side. Again, sit up tall here. Have your blanket or block or pillow underneath you. Hands on the floor behind you if you'd like, or resting on your legs wherever they're comfortable. Sit up tall, soft shoulders. Let the muscles of your face relax. And just take a few slow, deep breaths. You might sit up a little bit taller, find a little more length in your spine with each inhale. Sorry about that if you notice I'm in a little bit of a different place. I may be, as usual, my camera cut off. I don't know why. Or just quit recording. So Take a couple more deep breaths here. If you'd like, as you inhale, you can sit up a little taller, find a little bit more length in your spine. As you exhale, let a little weight drop down into your right hip. Release unnecessary tension. Now you can bring your hands to the mat again, feet to the floor, move your legs around, shake them out, rock them side to side, do whatever feels good. And you're going to come down and lay on your back. Once you're on your back, hug both knees into your chest. Just pause here for a moment, take a couple slow breaths. Now bring each hand to its respective knee. Keep your knees together and make some circles with your knees, as big or as small as you'd like. And go in the opposite direction. Now hug your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg out into the floor. This is one of my favorite, I don't know if I should really call it a stretch or what, but even if you don't feel a stretch here, all of the muscles in your hips, in the backs of your hips and your lower back are going to release tension when you do this stretch or pose or whatever you want to call it. Deep breath. Now if you have your right knee hugged in, keep your right hand on your right knee. You can just let your left arm rest down on the floor. And you're gonna let your right knee drop over to the right, but you wanna keep it pulled in towards your body as you do. There's a tendency for it to want to come forward so that you can rest your foot on the floor. And that's why you want to keep it pulled in. And just let it drop over to the right as far as it can go without letting your foot and your knee come forward or go forward. Now come back to center, hug both knees into your chest, take one deep breath here. Bring your hands onto your left knee, stretch your right leg out. Couple deep breaths here. Try to relax the front of your left hip, the hip of your straight leg. Now rest your left arm down on the floor. Keep your right arm down on the floor. Keep your left knee pulled in towards you as you let it drop out to the left. And now come back to center, hug both knees into your chest. If you want, you can stretch your arms and your legs out. Take a big, deep breath into your belly. Do whatever movements or stretches feel good. And we're done for today. So this is a little practice that you can do on an off day when you're not doing intense cardio or strength training or other sort of intense activities. Or you can do this in addition to more intense activities, especially like if you were going running or cycling or going to spin class or lifting heavy weights in the gym. This would be really good to do afterwards to just help your muscles to relax and to keep that mobility and flexibility as you get stronger. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. As always, let me know if you have any requests. I really appreciate you joining me for this little movement video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.